Hello everyone, my name is Bhargav Chakravarti. I'm a final year student at NLS Bangalore and the legal head at CLAT Tutor. The case that I will be discussing right now is Sachin Kumar versus Delhi Subordinate Service Selection Board. Now, in this case, um, the DSSSB issued a, issued an advertisement where they had invited applications for various posts, and this the examination concerned this particular post, and it was for a total of 231 vacancies in a services department of the government. Now it comprised of two different sets of exams, tier 1 exam and tier 2 exam, with their own constituent elements. Now what the problem had emerged was, firstly, the exam was taken 5 years later. So this itself was a very prima facie fact that played in the court's mind and the various committees' minds that were set up to look into the different problems that had happened in this case. So the major problems, alleged problems, were with relation to leakage of question papers, mass cheating, allotment of common examination centers, and impersonation of candidates. Now, the important factors that must be kept here in mind is the standard that is at play for a public body. Now, now that the committee that was set up, it arrived at prima facie conclusions that there were serious irregularities, including cheating and impersonation. Now, the decision of the court was that as and this was based on the following findings, that as many as 50 candidates who had high marks in the tier 1 tests secured less than 50 marks in the tier 2 tests, and some candidates had actually obtained 0 marks. Now the absence of randomization was also noted, where it enabled candidates who are closely related to sit in a sequence. Now this had thrown the whole process of the whole process into question, right? The whole process became a farce after that. Now, what this pointed to was that there was a denial of equal access and opportunity, which is fatal for a public institution as far as Article 15 is concerned, which prevents discrimination. Discrimination, i- i- the only time when it is allowed is when it is based on an intelligible differentia, which has a rational nexus to the object that is sought to be achieved. But here, as we find that through instances such as lack of randomization, it was found that the whole process turned into a farce. Now, besides the irregularities, there were specific factors that also the committee noted, that there was a racket actually at play, where certain individuals had connections with the coaching centers and they had leaked the question papers. So, and there were other factors as well as mentioned from this slide, that there were problems with respect to their educational qualifications and other eligibility criterias and so on. Now, the important factor that also played here was this particular precedent of the court that demonstrated that when the credibility of an entire examination stands vitiated by systemic irregularities, then there is no point as to separating the untainted from the tainted, because the whole system is at fault. So there was no denial of access to the untainted students, so as to say, who were not involved in the process, because the whole system itself was problematic. And more specifically, the court in paragraph 57 of the judgment held that the recruitment to public services must command public confidence. Persons who are recruited are intended to fulfill public functions associated with the functioning of the government, and where the entire process is held to be flawed, its cancellation may undoubtedly cause hardship to a few who may not have specifically be found to be involved in the wrongdoing, but that is not sufficient to nullify the ultimate decision to cancel an examination where the nature of the wrongdoing cuts through the entire process. So essentially, when the whole system is at fault, you cannot separate those who did not necessarily partake in that or cause that the problem in that system, but they had still participated in a system that itself was problematic. So that's why the whole exam were is to be cancelled, and the hardship, they're accepting that there is a hardship that is caused to students, but that hardship is not enough to nullify the problem that is at hand. So this was the broad orders of the court, where the exam was to be cancelled because the credibility and the public confidence aspect, and so on. So thank you for watching this video, and if you have any comments, please post them in the comment sections, and mail us at hello@clattutor.com.